Welcome to Little English Studio, where we explore the wonders of the world through stories told in clear, beautiful English. Today, our journey takes us to Central Asia, to a land of towering mountains, whispering winds, and ancient traditions. We are traveling to Sulaiman-Too, the sacred mountain of Osh in southern Kyrgyzstan. Rising above the ancient Silk Road city, Sulaiman-Too is not only a geological marvel, but also a living spiritual monument, a place where nature, faith, and history intertwine. Standing 1,100 meters above sea level, this mountain is far more than a peak of rock and soil. For over 1,500 years, Sulaiman-Too has been a sacred site for pilgrims, travelers, and believers. It has watched empires rise and fall, caravans cross the desert, and people come seeking healing, blessings, and enlightenment. Known as the Throne of Solomon, the mountain carries stories that reach deep into both myth and memory. Our story begins long before the borders of Kyrgyzstan were drawn, long before Islam or Christianity took root in Central Asia. Ancient peoples worshipped here, venerating the mountain as a divine entity. Archaeological evidence from rock carvings, ancient petroglyphs, and cave shrines reveals that the slopes of Sulaiman-Too were used for ritual practices as early as the Bronze Age. The mountain, with its 5 distinct peaks, was seen as a bridge between the earth and the heavens, a ladder for the soul to ascend. With the arrival of Islam in Central Asia in the 8th century, the sacredness of Sulaiman-Too did not vanish. Instead, it transformed. Local people began to associate the mountain with Prophet Solomon, known as Sulaiman in Islamic tradition. According to legend, Solomon once rested upon this mountain and left behind the imprint of his body or his hand. The name Sulaiman-Too literally means Solomon's mountain. Pilgrims believed that the site carried his blessing, that touching its stones or praying within its caves could bring health, fertility, and spiritual balance. Throughout the centuries, Sulaiman-Too became one of the most important Islamic pilgrimage sites in Central Asia, often referred to as the second Mecca of the region. Even today, thousands of people climb the mountain each year, especially during religious holidays. The path winds through stone steps and small shrines, each associated with specific prayers and purposes. Some caves are believed to cure diseases, others are said to bring good fortune or help women conceive. The rituals, though deeply Islamic in spirit, also echo ancient pre-Islamic beliefs about nature and healing, a beautiful fusion of cultures that defines Central Asian spirituality. The heart of the site is Tak-Tai Sulaiman, meaning the Throne of Solomon. This main peak holds a small mosque built in the 16th century by the ruler Babur, the founder of the Mughal Empire in India. As a young man, Babur lived in the city of Osh and often climbed this mountain. His writings, found in his famous memoir Baburnama, describe his devotion to Sulaiman-Too and the inspiration he found there. He believed the mountain to be a sacred and powerful place, a symbol of divine authority. The small mosque that crowns the peak today still bears his name, and from its summit, the view of Osh and the Fergana Valley stretches endlessly, a breathtaking panorama of nature and civilization in harmony. The caves of Sulaiman-Too hold secrets of their own. Over 100 caves have been documented, many containing petroglyphs and inscriptions dating back thousands of years. The most famous of these is Chiltern Cave, where people once prayed for healing and guidance. In some caves, faint drawings of animals, suns, and human figures can still be seen, evidence of ancient rituals and the enduring power of symbols. Archaeologists have discovered artifacts here that trace the continuity of worship from prehistoric to modern times, making Sulaiman-Too one of the few places in the world where the spiritual practices of humanity can be read like an open book across millennia. Inside the mountain itself lies the Sulaiman-Too Museum complex, carved directly into the rock during the Soviet era. Built in the 1950s, it houses a fascinating collection of local artifacts, from Bronze Age pottery to medieval manuscripts. Visitors who enter the museum walk through tunnels that blend nature and architecture, emerging again into sunlight with a renewed sense of awe. The museum's presence is a reminder that faith and history coexist here, not in opposition, but as layers of one grand story. Beyond religion and history, Sulaiman-Too is also a living ecosystem. The mountain's rocky slopes are home to rare plants and wildlife adapted to the dry Fergana Valley climate. Its biodiversity makes it a natural laboratory for scientists, while its caves serve as records of climate change and human adaptation. Local communities living at the base of the mountain depend on it not only spiritually but also ecologically, for shade, for herbs, for a sense of orientation in the vast Kyrgyz landscape. For the people of Osh, Sulaiman-Too is a heartbeat, a presence that defines identity. Families visit it for weddings, births, and major life events. Pilgrims light candles, tie ribbons to trees, and whisper prayers into the wind. Elderly women climb the path barefoot, believing that each step washes away sin. Children grow up hearing stories of Prophet Solomon's throne and the miracles of the mountain. It is more than a landmark, it is part of their soul. In 2009, recognizing its immense cultural and spiritual value, UNESCO declared Sulaiman-Too Sacred Mountain a World Heritage Site, calling it the most complete example of a sacred mountain in Central Asia, worshipped over several millennia. This acknowledgement elevated the site to global importance, ensuring efforts to preserve it for future generations. UNESCO's inscription emphasized not only its religious role, but also its archaeological and cultural continuity, a rare synthesis of the tangible and intangible heritage of humanity. But preservation is a delicate balance. As tourism grows, so does the risk of damage to the fragile environment and sacred atmosphere. The Kyrgyz government and local communities are now working to protect the mountain's integrity while allowing pilgrims and visitors to continue their ancient traditions. Education programs encourage respectful behavior, and new conservation projects aim to preserve the petroglyphs and caves threatened by erosion. In the 21st century, Sulaiman-Too stands as a bridge between worlds, between ancient and modern, nature and culture, science and faith. It is a reminder that sacredness does not always belong to temples or cathedrals, but can live in mountains, stones, and wind. The people who climb it today are not so different from those who came centuries ago. All seek meaning, healing, and connection to something larger than themselves. Standing on its summit at sunrise as the light spills across the Fergana Valley and the call to prayer echoes from the mosques of Osh, one cannot help but feel humbled. The mountain seems alive, its rocks warm with centuries of faith. It tells no single story, for it holds all stories, the ancient songs of shamans, the whispers of prophets, the hopes of pilgrims, the quiet endurance of time itself. Sulaiman-Too is more than a heritage site. It is a living testament to humanity's eternal search for the divine, carved not by human hands alone, but by the meeting of belief, nature, and time. It stands not just in Kyrgyzstan, but in the heart of the world's spiritual geography, a reminder that sacredness can be found not in distance but in depth. And that was the story of Sulaiman-Too, Kyrgyzstan's sacred mountain, a meeting place of earth and heaven, of faith and time. From ancient carvings to Islamic legends, from the throne of Solomon to the modern city of Osh, this mountain continues to unite generations under its timeless presence. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history and spirit. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more tales of world heritage, told in clear and beautiful English. See you in the next video.